and welcome to another episode of Liz on Biz. Here with me today is Melissa Broughton. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thanks, Liz. Excited to be here.
We are going to have so much fun. I'm excited to chat with you, and I have a thing about bees where because your logo is bees, right? Busy
Yep,
Bee Advisors.
the advisors.
And so I've never been stung by a bee, and so we wonder if I'm allergic, like we don't know. And then there's a story that when my mom was pregnant, like she went to the gas station and like panicked, well, pregnant with me. Then there was a bee in the car and she's like, and I've never panicked more in my life and I am afraid of bees. But I don't want to hurt them. Like I also know they're important for life because there's a bee documentary where they say
Yeah.
that if bees die, it's over for us. So we have to protect the bees. And then maybe I'll send this to you. So then I did this thing, and then we're gonna get to your business, but this all feels relevant.
It is
Because
relevant.
I saw your logo, like when I saw you were coming on, I was like, I'm gonna tell her about this bee thing. So I did this thing for Mother's Day where I said to my husband, I was like, I really, really want this thing called the Fun Delivered box. Are you familiar with Fun Delivered? It's a waste
No,
of money, but you should do it because it's so much fun. Because
I,
you
I
get some
love
of
I
it
love
back.
buying random things.
Oh,
So
it's
tell me
random.
more.
So what you do, it's called, I said I for Mother's Day, I want the party box and it's like $220. It's a massive box and it comes to your house and it's full of undelivered mail. So like it's full of other people's packages that they either like never got because they didn't pick it's I think it's they didn't pick them up at the post office, like it's a package
Okay.
that gets routed there or like was probably improperly addressed and never received. So it just all ended up at Fun Delivered, buys all this undelivered mail, and then gives it to people that buy these boxes. So I got all this stuff. And one of the things that I got, and it's like it's really worth it. It's very fun. Like we're
I'm
gonna do it
excited about it. Wait, I'm
like
excited
you
about
got to
it
do it
already.
because we're gonna do it instead of Yankee Swap at Christmas. We've already
Okay.
talked about it because it was that fun. But I got like 30 packages. But one of the packages, because it's so fun to open mail. That's
It is
not
so fun to
like
open
not a
mail.
bill, like
Yeah.
it was like all packages.
Yeah, I don't go utility bill, yay, but
Yay,
money
water
mail. Yeah.
bill. No, but like this was like they had this bee and it's like a beaded, like it could be a brooch. And it was like so pretty, but I was like, oh, I'm afraid of I'm no this is like not for me. But maybe you should have the brooch.
But maybe I should. I'll send you something
I'll
random in the
text you.
mail.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
send you the brooch because I was like, I don't know that many bee logo. I don't know any. I have like an old client that had a bee logo, but I don't know if she would brooch. But like you
I
could
don't know that I
brooch.
would broach it, but I think if you sent it to me, Liz, because
It
we've
could
already
be cute on
bonded.
your desk or your
Yeah,
monitor,
I
like
love it. We've already bonded over melon ballers and random mail.
melon ballers. Did we tell everybody? Wait, were they there for that?
No,
For
they
the
weren't there
melon?
for that. They
Okay,
weren't there for
everybody, before we start recording, we talked about how she's having a party today, and I said, "Oh, you better bust out the melon baller because whenever I have a big, like a summer-ish party, I do a fruit salad and I get like nice melon, and I do a melon baller
that. Well,
because if you have a spherical piece of melon, it's so much better than a cube."
it is so much better than a cube. And
Yeah.
my giant human who is graduating or who has graduated, he likes watermelon. So
Yes.
I have quite the large fruit that I am going to be sitting there and
I bought the mini
falling.
watermelon when I did it because the large watermelon seemed too
It's a lot.
daunting. So I bought the mini because it was like just a party though, just for our family. So it was like my immediate, basically like 10 of us with our
We
families.
have,
So
I think we have probably 50 people coming today.
oh, so
So
you need maybe multiple melons.
I need multiple melons. There will be lots of
A lot of melon balling to
lots of
do.
melon balling. My wrists will be sore. It's
You'll be
okay.
so tired.
I
We
will be
did
so tired.
I did Top Golf last night, which do you guys have that in Texas?
We
Because you're in
we,
Texas.
no, we're in California.
You're in California? I put you
Yeah,
in Texas. Why? I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's
Um,
like because it looked like it would be warm there. So I pictured a bee and it'd be hot there. But California's warm.
California's pretty warm. Um, we do have a Top Golf, and it proves that I am a terrible golfer, like terrible
I
golf.
did really good. I won last night. But I went.
Congratulations. It's
Yeah,
a
and I
little
beat
scary
everybody.
being up on the high level.
Yeah, it was a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
will I
you
fall
gotta
off?
bring it. No, there's a net, but I don't know that it could hold me.
Okay,
Like I
so
haven't
I'm
challenged the
super
net.
excited about the box.
Well,
What's
okay, so
hilarious?
yes.
Yeah, so you
Yes.
have to tell me about that. What's hilarious is that my husband and I were talking. We flew in for we were in Indiana last week, very exciting, for a rugby tournament for our graduate. And we're at the airport, and he's like, "We should figure out how to go to those auctions and get unclaimed suitcases."
Oh, so he's like already into that
He's already
stuff.
totally into this. So it's also his birthday today, which is funny. So I
He's
will
having a big day.
it's a big day. Like
That's
it's
a big
just
day.
a big
It's
day
he
in our house.
graduated, he
No, my
rugby.
son is graduating and it's my
Oh,
husband's
different. Like
birthday.
husband's
Different
birthday.
different
But
humans,
still.
but it's a
So
big
is your
day.
your husband's into the unclaimed luggage thing
He is
though?
into the we've done the storage auctions, which is it's
I've
really a lot
never done
of fun.
any of that.
A lot of fun. So
There's a, have you ever been to bin store? Or a bin, it's called a bin store. So like we don't
no,
have them in Massachusetts, but like my Zach who works for me in Michigan goes to bin store and it's a store of Amazon returns basically. And I think it's like everything's $5 on Monday, $4 on Tuesday, Wednesday $3. You know, it
I
goes
would end
on.
up with so much stuff that I don't need just because
Well,
I
and
got
then
excited about what a deal it was. And then
well,
I'd have
he
to send
goes
it
and
to my
he
mom or something.
resells. He resells it
Oh,
on like
smart,
does
smart.
that because he even knows what to do. But like
Yeah.
it's wildly, it's not his personality to love this, but like it's like a. I don't know if he's off of bin store, like he hasn't gone in a few weeks, but I'm like, I would die to go to a bin store. And he's like,
I
it's
would
not that great.
I would love to go there. But
I think it'd be fun.
yeah, I don't know that I would like sell the stuff. I would probably just end up having it all in my garage. Like
I
I have
did sell
10,000 things.
some of the fun delivered I did sell because like but some of it already sold. I've already made $100 back on the so it was really fun. You know what I mean? Like
That's
you make some of the
awesome.
money back. Yeah,
Hey,
but
who needs to talk about business? We're
no,
talking about
I
melon
think this is
callers and
really
fun
fun.
delivered and
Fun to live. That's a great name for a business.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, so you gotta buy that. And then there's also that website, and then please let's it's called Unclaimed Baggage, but that's what your husband would should it's a
He's
website.
he's super excited about it.
So
So
you can go to that website and buy, I don't know if you buy the bag, but they sell Kindles for like $10 that were in people's luggage that never got picked up.
yep. And how do
Although
you
it'll
not pick up
come.
your luggage? That part like is
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I've had airlines lose my luggage and then I get it the next day. That's really weird. And I even said to them, I have a feeling you're going to lose my luggage. We're not going to lose your luggage. They lost my
And then it's
luggage.
lost.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of luggage, let's help you, Melissa. Melissa, you sell luggage at Busy Bee. No, I'm
Right,
just
right.
kidding.
That's what we're all. I'm going to get all these
Clearly.
weird calls for. Well, we
Turn
already
out
have.
leaves on biz.
Can I buy some luggage, please? We already have kind of an autonomous name, so
Yeah.
I'm on random mailing lists for laundromats. Well, we owned a laundromat for a while, but
Oh,
Busy
cool.
Bee, yeah, that was an interesting. Um, I'll just say this: I have a very
Yes.
patient husband. I get these wild hairs, and I'm like, I want to own a laundromat. And
Yeah.
I just become so hyper focused on it. And it's really why I totally believe in manifestation.
Yeah.
And I become so focused on it that it just then happens. So took me about a year. I started thinking about, and I'll say obsessing about owning a laundromat.
Yeah.
And really, the deal with laundromats is banks won't loan you money for laundromats because they're generally cash businesses. Now,
Hmm.
what's interesting is that they're really not cash businesses anymore, but banks are slow.
They
And
still think so.
they still think so. And so they're like, no, we won't loan you money. And unless you have like, I don't know, $200,000 just hidden in the
Yeah.
couch, which we didn't, you can't buy a laundromat. So I'm like, okay, it's just going to be my dream that's unrealized. And we kind of heard from a friend that there was this laundromat that it was in really bad shape. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like homeless tent city in front of the front. There were like 50 homeless
Yeah.
people with their tents in front of it. And it
Wow.
was there was a prostitution ring. I kid you not, there was a prostitution
Yikes.
ring that
Where
was
was
running
this?
in Sacramento that was
Oh,
running out
yeah.
of the laundromat, and the lovely older couple that was running it was like, we've had enough, we'll finance.
Yeah.
And the deal was like, honestly, we bought it for probably less. Well, we bought it for less than the cost of a car. I'll just say that. And so
Wow.
we got a screaming deal. They financed us, and so I got to live my dreams of owning a
Did
laundromat.
it make any money?
Yeah, we made a lot of money. We sold, we owned it for a year. We put a lot of time into cleaning it up and
Yeah.
deprostituting it, and
Deprostituting. So
we
many
got
syllables and so funny.
so many. We got rid of the homeless tents, and
Yeah.
it was interesting. The biggest challenge, though, I'll say, was it was really hard to find people that would consistently show up for work. Like, you need a cleaner
Yeah.
in there. You need somebody to come in at night, so it closes at midnight, and then somebody has to come in and clean for 2 hours. We could not consistently find people. And so
Wow.
it would be my husband or I that were there cleaning. Well, he didn't want me there cleaning. And
Right.
then, he would be like, well, I'm going to go, clean the laundromat. And I'm going, well, I'll go with you. So we just always ended up going together, and it
Yeah.
became a little exhausting, but we made a lot of money. It was a very interesting experience, and it was totally proof to me of like manifesting what you want.
Yeah.
Just
And
that
then you,
I
when did you want out? Was it because you guys, it was the keeping people was too hard and you just had to get out of there?
It was the keeping people was too hard. It was we really had to we were at that cross in the road where we needed new equipment, and it
Mm-hmm.
was either sell or invest probably $400,000 for equipment. And now the equipment you can get loans for, so that's not a big deal. But I knew that we would then be like, we were in it,
You were
right?
in it.
We
Yeah.
were in it. And I'm like, well, this is fun, but I'm really an accountant and I don't really like, mopping floors.
Yeah.
I went
Yep.
to school, it's kind of like, my mom will joke about don't chew on hard candy because, she spent a lot of money on braces for me, right? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, my parents sent me to college. I probably shouldn't be mopping floors in the middle of the night.
I get that.
It was an interesting experience. There's lots of people that like take a lot of clothes off when they go to the laundromat. Like, we had a lot of naked people in there. I was not prepared for that.
Wow. What?
Yes, yes.
I've never
So,
heard that.
yeah, it's very interesting. It was not as our dreams often are, it was not quite what I imagined it was going to be in my mind.
No.
I just thought it was going to be
No.
nice people that came in and did their laundry, and yeah, it was interesting. It
Yeah,
was
like if you were gonna produce a movie, a lifetime movie about a laundromat owner who meets
There would be a romance. It would
somebody.
be like a meet
Yeah.
cute total sick. That was not the case.
And there'd be a pumpkin spice cafe
There
just
would
right
definitely
there.
be, and there would be fall leaves falling. It
Fall
would be
leaves,
cozy. Yes. Yep. And they would
flannels,
probably
and
sell
hot
melon collars.
cocoa.
Yeah.
Melon balling. Melon ballers at the register just because it's an impulse,
Yeah,
but wonderful
exactly.
purchase.
Everybody needs one, and most people don't have
No,
one.
everybody does need. I feel strongly that this podcast, although sponsored by the Women's Business League, may now also be sponsored by Melon Baller,
I
Corporate Melon Baller USA.
corporate melon baller USA, the big box
Incorporated.
melon baller store.
So what
So
at
fun.
Busy Bee? So Busy Bee though, when you picked at Busy Bee Advisors, that's what it's called, right? I
Yeah,
don't want to
that's my
like ruin
name.
it.
Or that's
BusyBeeAdvisors.com. Busy Bee though, like you're right, it does get used by like a lot of other kinds of businesses. So you said you got spam? Like you're on
we
weird
get
lists for
we get
things?
lots of random things. So there's within Sacramento, there's a Busy Bee daycare, there's a Busy Bee plumbing service, there's a Busy Bee like construction business or handyman service. So there's a lot of Busy Bee names. It's you start a business, and it's kind of the before you launch, you have to, pick a
Pick a
business.
name.
You have to
Yeah.
pick a name. You have to get a logo designed. And I'm like, I don't have any idea. So, one of um, the Greek meaning of my name is little honeybee. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll
Oh,
lean into the bees, and it'll be kind of a cutesy thing. And so Busy Bee Advisors was what I came up with. And it's kind of funny because now we have a pretty big, pretty bustling bookkeeping and accounting firm, and it's got this cutesy name still, but it
it is
works.
cute. It's cute. And even if you ever rebranded, I feel like you'd have to keep the bee would be like the thing that you would carry. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to, but the bee is so because it's bustling and busy and like there is something about like your creative, like you must work with creative people that are creating different things with their lives and businesses and that you get to
Yep.
be a part of that.
And there is a lot of bustling and a lot of, busyness in both
Hmm.
the, tax side of things and on the bookkeeping side of things as well. So, and it's fun because my clients or people that I talk to will send me like these cute little bee things. And I'm thinking,
Oh, like me. We just
yes,
met and
yes.
I had already got you a present.
So, and I love it, right? So I get gifts in the mail that I don't, I will be going to Fun Deliver though to buy my own set
Yeah,
of
you
that
have
could
to.
become an addiction, I think. But
It's very fun.
I get all these cute little bee things and it makes us really memorable. Like I'll talk to somebody and maybe it's not a fit right now for them to become a bookkeeping client, but they'll remember bee or something
Hmm.
bee, and then they can search for bee and they find us really quickly online and they come back and they become a client. So it's
That's
a
neat.
good thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you grow? So how long has Busy Bee been a thing? Did it live through the laundromat years or was it before
Oh, it
that?
it was before the laundromat years. So, 2015, I was, doing what every person I think does. I had gone to school, I had established myself in my career. I was working as a controller for a pretty good sized manufacturing company. I've always been in the financial industry, and at that point, my boys were 16 and 8 and I'm working like, as you move up the corporate ladder, the
Hmm.
hours get longer and longer, right? So I'm working a 60-hour week. I had a ridiculously
Wow.
long commute just to get to work. And I'm like, I never get to see my kids. Like I never get to see my husband. I never get to see my kids. Is this really what the point of it all is? And I had hit that point. And
Yeah.
we were we were on a cruise. My husband and I were on a cruise for my 40th birthday. And obviously, if I'm on a cruise, I had requested the time off, right? Like I didn't just go,
Yeah.
hey, I'm out of here. And I called into work. We get to port. We're in Puerto Vallarta. We're living our best lives. I think we both had a few pina coladas at that point. And I make the mistake of calling the office because I'm just a good, responsible employee. And my boss is like, where are you? You've abandoned your position.
What?
Yeah, so the person who was supposed to cover kind of things for me was never showed up, which I look back and I'm like, well, that wasn't
Man.
really my fault. But here,
No.
here I have this boss who's like yelling at me, and I apparently pina coladas make me a little indignant, so I quit my job on the spot.
Good for you. I
Right,
don't blame
right.
you. Screw
Well,
that guy.
it was like, I don't deserve this. And it was
No.
that total level of indignance. So the challenge
Yeah.
with that was that my husband had just finished school. He was just kind of getting established in his career. So I had been the one that was really like the primary financial support for our family. And here I'm like, I'm
Mm.
out and I quit and my husband's like, that's cool. I can do poor. I mean, it
I
was like
can
the
do more.
sweetest, most supportive thing. I think
Yeah.
I think anybody else that I've ever known would have probably looked at me and been like, what the heck? But
Nah.
he's just, I'm married to the best guy in the whole world.
Yeah. I
And
love that.
he's like, we'll roll with it. And so and this is just I don't know, this is the funniest story, I think. So we get home and decide that I am going to just take the summer off and totally, totally enjoy being with my kids. Like I am
Mm.
going to squeeze every single moment out. And we did. We had an awesome summer. And there was enough in savings to cover for like 3 or 4 months for me to not.
Yeah.
And then, come September, I would need to go and get a job. And it's never been really an issue. Just in the financial industry, it's really easy, or at least it always had been, to find positions, right? So I wasn't
Yeah.
worried about finding a job. Um, so summer ends as it does, and I take my kids back to school, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for a run, and I'm going to figure out what my next chapter looks like.
Hmm.
And so it was that pumpkin spice moment, like the leaves are falling
Yeah.
and it was a little bit overcast and I'm out. I'm 3 miles from my house. I will say this, I'm not really a runner, but what I like about it is that I think it's so hard for me that it causes total focus. It was like it's a brain.
You have to really try.
Yeah. So I'm out for a run. I'm ironically on the sidewalk instead of the street because I was worried I would get, hit by a car if I
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
the street. And my foot hits an uneven spot on the sidewalk because there were leaves, those pumpkin spice leaves, and I face planted. Like that reaction where you put your hands out. Apparently, I don't have it at all. I just like
Oh
that full
no.
sprint face planted. So I broke my jaw. I shattered, except for my top and bottom four teeth, I shattered every other tooth in my mouth.
Oh my God.
It was just this like it was like this oh crap moment. So I essentially, and I don't even remember walking home. My neighbor who's retired is driving into the neighborhood, and she's like, she'll tell you it looked like a horror story because I
'Cause
was
you're
covered
probably
in blood.
covered in
I
blood.
was covered in
Yeah.
blood. I'm spitting
Oh
my
my
teeth out
God.
into my hand. And so
That's like my biggest nightmare.
yeah, well,
Teeth
don't
stuff.
do it. I don't recommend it.
I guess I'm not running on a sidewalk
Don't run on the sidewalk. So
right now.
what that led to
Yeah.
was about 6 months of recovery, and it gave me this quiet space that I was able to really formulate and figure out what I wanted for this perfect business.
Yeah.
Because what I realized was that if I went and got a job with another company, it would be like watching the same movie again, but just
Yeah,
with
you're
a different
doing the
set of
same thing
characters.
twice.
I'm doing the same thing again. Nothing's going to be different.
Yeah.
And so I have a conversation with my husband, and he's like, so all that we need you to do, if you want to start your own business, I'm totally supportive. All that you need to do is bring in $2,000 a month. Like we can float $2,000 a month. And so that was my hyper focus, right? I'm like, okay, so I have a laptop, and I'm going to start this
Mm-hmm.
bookkeeping business at my kitchen table, and I'm going to be like the mom of all moms, and I'm going to volunteer for everything, and I'm going to work totally around my kids, and I'll get clients, and it'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I started at our dining room table
Yeah.
with my laptop. I had a printer, so there was not really any setup. And I started reaching out. By the time I was able to start working, we had like literally 2 weeks left of money before
Mm-hmm.
things were going to get really, really, really,
Weird.
really weird, really like we
Yeah.
actually need to eat kind of a thing. So it's there's nothing like having that deadline, and I'm making phone calls, and I'm going to networking events, and I'm like having good conversations with people, but nothing's really happening, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just sticking to it every day. I'm figuring out different ways to get myself out there. And on literally like the 11th day of that 2 weeks, this person randomly contacted me. I'm not sure if it was on social media or if it was like an email, but it was this person who had talked to a person who had talked to a person who heard I was a
Mm-hmm.
bookkeeper, and he was in this transitional spot in his business and needed somebody who could do exactly what I wanted to do, could be a remote bookkeeper for him. And so that started Busy Bee Advisors. We landed our first client, and the first client was a $5,000 a month client, which was beautiful because it was like the universe went, you're in the right spot. This is exactly what
Yeah.
you're going to be doing. And it really was this feeling of kind of abundance of I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to bring in $2,000 a month, and now I'm bringing in $5,000.
5. Yeah.
And so I had one client, and I'm like, well, okay, I need more clients. So how many clients
Mm-hmm.
do I want? And I thought, how many clients can I manage in a month? And
Yeah.
the number that I came up with, and it's still the number, anybody who's, aspiring to be a bookkeeper out there, it's still the number I recommend. The number that I came up with was 25 clients. So I had this
Mm-hmm.
really clear goal of I want to get 25 clients. And by my second month in business, I was at 46 clients.
Oh my
I
God.
know it was crazy. I was working longer hours than I had been when I was, in corporate
Right.
America. And so I show up at my best friend, that ride or die. She's my ride or die friend, right? I show up at her job and I'm like, I need you to quit your job and I need you to come and work with me. Not for me, with me. I'm like, I
Yeah,
promise it's
yeah,
with me. Like, this is true partnership. And she goes, okay, well, it was a ridiculously low amount of money that she was making. So this is 2016. So
yeah, yeah.
I think she was making like
Hmm.
$13 an hour. I'm like, well, I
Right.
will pay you $18 an hour to come
If
and
you
work
come
with
now.
me.
Yeah,
Leave right now. And she's like, okay. So end of month two, she came to work with me. And so there were now two of us at my dining room table. And it was like we did that for about a year.
yeah,
And then we moved into a commercial space. And we were in a commercial space for about 2 years, and then the pandemic hit.
yes.
And right before the pandemic, so my husband was a nurse at the time. Right before the pandemic, I look at my husband and I'm like, I really want to go out for New Year's Eve.
Hmm.
So you should quit your job and you should come and work with me, because if you work with me, we'll have total flexibility over our schedule. And now
Yeah.
this is December. And then in February, the whole world like freaking went crazy and shut
Yep.
down because of the pandemic. I had no idea what was going to happen. Like, we didn't
No,
know
nobody
about
did.
the right COVID or anything like that. And he goes, okay. And he left nursing. He had just a few classes he needed to take to get his tax certification, because I was definitely new enough to know that we couldn't both be doing the same thing. Like, us on
Yeah,
top of each other, that wouldn't have worked. So I thought, okay, you'll
yeah,
do taxes, I'll do bookkeeping. It's going to be great. And it really has been. But then in February, like, the whole world shut down. And
yeah.
I don't know, what an amazing thought process, because he would have been so on the front line. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have taken him away.
Yes, it would have taken
Yeah.
him away. So we worked together, and at one point we had 28 bookkeepers that worked for us. He had a tax team that worked for him, and we just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. And so it was really this place of the pandemic hit, and everything again, it was this moment of pause, because would you remember the stillness that happened? Right. And so
I
we
remember empty streets when people didn't go out. I remember the no
no
traffic.
no traffic. Oh, I
And
miss
then they
no
would
traffic.
cancel sports games. That really upset my husband.
Yeah, everybody was just figuring
It
things
was
out.
really weird. It was very
Um,
weird
we
time.
lost a lot of our team. Like, they didn't die, but we
Right,
lost a
right.
lot of our team. Like, people just decided, hey, I'm moving closer to family, or whatever. So we're having people moving, and we're going. We just kept downsizing, 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 and the property owner of the space that we were at in 2019, 2020, I think it was, approached us and said, hey, we want to buy you out of, because I think we were on a 10-year lease at the time.
Hmm.
We want to buy you out of your lease because you have all of these different spaces. So we started out with like one little office in this building, and then kept
Yeah,
expanding and taking over other offices as they became available.
right.
And he said, so you guys have all of these offices and you're paying like this really low price. And I can get 3 times that if I lease them out individually. So I'm going to buy you out of your lease. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So we moved to what we thought was temporarily. We moved, my husband and I, we moved back to our house. He was, going to work in one of our extra bedrooms upstairs. I was going to work in our living room downstairs while we figured out kind of what commercial space we wanted to move into. And it's been really funny because we've been home based ever since. He works
yeah.
he works upstairs. I work downstairs. I think most days unless we have like a podcast or something like that, we really aren't even getting dressed. I mean, it's like we're putting comfy clothes on. My
Yeah.
wear is a lot of different yoga pants. I'll say that.
Same.
Um,
Yeah.
my dog is my office mate, and our whole team is across the United States. Because what I found was that when I was just trying to look in the Sacramento area for, for talent when I needed to hire somebody, it was very limiting. And if I opened it up
Yeah.
to across the country, I was able to find and meet these super amazing people. So that's kind of our story. We've been
That's amazing.
yeah, we've been growing and going strong, and we just hit our 10-year anniversary. So June was when I officially got the license and everything to with the business name to open the business. So June of 2016, and now we're in June of 2026.
That's amazing. Are you gonna
Yeah,
have a party?
we should, and I'll order a whole
We
bunch
had a
of them
15
delivered box.
more fun delivereds and melon ballers to come. But like we just turned 15 and we had a big party and it was awesome. So I think you should have and
I
like
think
my
we
team
should.
flew in and it was really cool.
I think that's a great idea. So
Yeah.
yes, we probably will have a party, but
Yeah. After you do this party,
yeah, after we
plan
do this party.
plan
So
plan that party. No, but the story is so it's like it's really a beautiful story. So what kind of businesses do you guys get to work with at Busy Bee?
there's a lot of well, I'll say it differently. The
Hmm.
space of the fractional CFO is very crowded, and that was
Yeah,
something that I knew that was crowded, and I didn't really want to be in that space because although I knew I had the skill set to do it, I felt like it would be very expensive to attract the talent who could also do that. And I didn't want to be
that's
the only
true.
person working in my business. So I thought, well, where else, like who else needs us? And it's really those small businesses that are
Hmm.
doing $3 million or less in revenue, that have
Hmm.
5 or fewer employees, and it's across a variety of industries. So we have mental health professionals, we have
Yep.
attorneys, we have real estate agents, we have, retail businesses. We've probably worked with every single type of business in every industry except for like funeral homes. Haven't had an opportunity to work
And
with a
that
funeral home.
maybe this is your day.
It could
Maybe
be.
there is a lovely mortician
Yeah,
listening.
there could be, and I would love for them to reach out to us, and we
Yeah.
can see if we can be of service. We also do a lot of what I would refer to as white labeling. So
Hmm.
a CPA firm will reach out to us and say, "Hey, our clients' books are all messed up. We can't do their taxes until their books are in order. We don't want
Yeah.
to deal with the hassle of hiring or starting a bookkeeping department. So we
Hmm.
want you guys to kind of be behind the scenes and take care of, the books for our clients as
Brilliant.
they're needed." And so we do a lot of that. Yeah, we work with a variety of different clients in different industries. And I'm always excited about the business owner's story. So
Hmm.
like we have a client who is opening a retail shop, and it's a 90s themed retail shop.
Oh, cute.
So cute, so
Yeah.
exciting. And like it's just, her she believes that the 90s nostalgia is at an all-time high,
It
and
is.
she's opening a store. And she's talking to me about it, and I'm like, I would totally come to your store and probably buy a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that I don't really need, but it's
I
so I
would.
get to talk to different people, and I get to understand kind of what they're passionate about in their business. And in truth, no matter what industry, the money is the same. Like the flow of
Hmm.
the money is the same. So it makes it very
Mm.
easy for me to do my job and kind of put the puzzle pieces together for them and give them a complete picture and allow them to make informed decisions with their financial reports that they wouldn't be able to otherwise do if they were just, scrambling to get everything together so that they could do their taxes or something like that.
Yes. Well, that's exactly who listens to this show. So you're in good company here. I mean, like it would all be people that we're all small businesses here and We all need more of that. More clarity about what's going on under the hood, you
Well,
know?
it's interesting because I had a client who she's a dog groomer, and she had business had gotten slow, and so one of the
Mm.
things that apparently I'm like going through puberty here, like my voice started cracking. That was
I'm hoarse too. Nay, nay,
nay
but I
nay.
am.
We need our
Nay,
melon.
nay. I
So
need some
so
melon.
her business had slowed down a little bit. Actually, what had happened was a car had driven into the front of her business, and so
Oh,
she
geez.
I know. She had to close
Yeah.
for a few months. And when she closed, obviously there was no revenue coming in. When she opened back up, things were slow. And so she had reached out and she had said, like, hey, I need to cancel service for a while. It saves me, to save a little bit every month. I need to cut corners wherever I can. And of course, it was you have to do what you need to do. I understand. We're here when you need us. So it had been about a
Yeah.
year. She came back to us. She had done nothing with her books in the year. And so
Oh,
right, she had done nothing with them. And so it was, frantic, get her caught up so she could file her taxes. But one of the things that she told me was she said it really felt like I was flying blind. I had no
blind.
idea what was coming in really as far as revenue. It was all by this gut feeling of I think, this is working, or I think that's working, or I think I'm making enough revenue,
Yeah,
or
that's scary.
let me look online and see what my balance is in the bank to see if my rent check will clear, kind of a thing. And she said it was really terrifying. And
Yeah.
I thought,
Because if you don't know, what are you doing? Like, what are you
right,
doing? It is
right.
like it's driving blind.
And so I think a lot of business owners, they go, well, I know that I need to file my taxes like every
Yeah.
year. That's a given, right? So you know that you need to file your taxes. And more business owners that I talk to who don't have a bookkeeper, even if they're doing it themselves, if they don't have an outside bookkeeper, what they will tell me is that, because I love to ask the question, so like, what does tax
Hmm.
season look like for you? And they will
Yeah.
tell me it's like, this was somebody I talked to yesterday. She said, oh, it's like every year, it's like the crash course for a final exam from when I was in college. I'm staying up all night for like 2 weekends.
Oh
I'm
my
cramming for
God.
that exam. I'm getting everything filed. At some point, I just don't even care anymore. So there's probably things that I'm not even counting that I should. And
Yeah.
I just kind of hate it. And so I said to her, I said, well, what if that scenario could be totally different? First, what if you never had to do that again? And
Ever.
second, what if you actually could see your numbers on a monthly basis so that you could make informed decisions about your business? And
Yeah.
she said, well, I don't even know what I'd be looking at. And I said, well, you know what? I can teach you. I can
Yes.
interpret that for you so that you know
You
what
know what it
it is that you're
means.
looking at. And I said, we can
Yeah.
take it a step further and figure out with goals that you may have how to reach those goals. And of course that became apparently a slam dunk. I've got my admin who happened to be at the house that day. She goes, I would sign up for bookkeeping services with how
No,
you
but
explain
it's
that. But
so
it's
well put
true.
though. It is
It,
true.
you don't have to do it all alone as a business owner. And it's one of the
Mhm.
easiest, most inexpensive things that you can delegate that will really maximize the time savings. Because when I
That's
talk to
true.
small business owners and I ask them, so what do you value yourself at? What would you call your hourly rate? Like, what would you consider to be your
Mhm.
hourly rate? And most business owners will say, especially in 2026, most business owners will say it's around the, 100 to, I don't know, I've had attorneys that their hourly rate is $500 an hour, so 100 to
Yeah.
$500 an hour. And I say, and when you're doing your own books or your spouse is doing the books for you, how much time are they spending? And they'll usually say something like, I don't know, probably 20 hours a month. So that's $2,000 a month on the low side of things. So
Yeah.
you
That if
turn
you're
this
doing it, if you value you that much
right.
and you're
So
doing that.
So we're
Yeah.
valuing that at $2,000. You turn it over to us. And then I will pause and I will ask the question of, and I would ask this of your audience, do you feel confident in that what you're doing when you're doing your books is correct, and they usually
No.
will say no. And
God, no.
so you're turning it over, you're saving yourself. I'm giving you the gift. Who cares what the cost is? I'm giving you the gift of 20 hours. I'm giving you that gift.
Yes.
We can make more money, my friends, like listeners out there. We can make more money. All of us have the ability to make more money, but there is no more time. There is not. We all get the
Oh,
same
God.
24 hours
Soak
in a
that
day.
up. Louder for the people in
So
the back.
it's really it's very empowering, I think, to
Hmm.
utilize a bookkeeper. It's very to have those numbers and to be able to use those numbers for something is amazing. And we've worked with, some of my favorite stories. We had an acupuncturist that we worked with when I started working with her. She was renting a room in an office. 6 months later, she had taken over the complete office and had people working
Oh,
for her. We had an auto mechanic that it kind of the same story. He was a super small shop. It was just him in the shop. So if he needed to take time off, business closed, no money
they
came
closed. Yeah.
in. And he had one bay at the time, so that meant he could only service one vehicle at a time. We still work with him. He now has 17, I think, employees and has,
Wow.
I think, close to 30 days. So it's it, when you have that outside perspective
Hmm.
of a bookkeeper that is able to help you not only see those numbers but interpret those numbers and help you
Hmm.
to reach your goals. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Well, I want to ask you more things, but we're out of time, so I just got to ask you your last question.
Okay.
But this is so interesting and cool. Do you predict, and this might be hard for you to know for yourself, but do you think you'll have another laundromat fantasy? Perhaps not about a laundromat, but like, do you see yourself deviating or doing something that you'll get in your head in the next few years, or not really?
Oh my God, all the time. So no, I'm terrible. It's really it's I kind of I don't like being bored. I'm not somebody who can just like sit down at night and watch TV. I have
Mm,
to, and I think a lot of us are actually wired this way. I
yeah.
have to have something that stimulates me. And once I master something, so I could have a client call me and they could say, "Hey, I've got a question about my QuickBooks. How do I find this?" And I
Hmm.
don't have to be at my computer. I could just walk them through it. It's become like so second nature to me. It's kind of like riding a bike, right? And so I feel like I've mastered that. I've mastered
Yeah.
that challenge. I still love my clients. I still love, when I get notified from my office manager that we've gotten a new client, um but will there be something else? So in 2024, I decided to I decided that I wanted to teach people how to become bookkeepers. And so I launched the 1 Hour Bookkeeper. People can find it if they, if they're so interested. I launched the 1 Hour Bookkeeper. It's onehourbookkeeper.com with the purpose of teaching stay-at-home moms, dads, and military spouses how to start their own bookkeeping businesses from home. So that's been kind of
Mm.
my pet project for the last few years. Uh, Within a year of launching, we had just over 3,500 students that went through the course. So it's definitely resonated with a lot of people. I just want to create a mindset where, first of all, more moms and dads, if they want to be home with their kids, can be home with their kids.
Yeah,
Because I think that's a beautiful thing. And I won't go much further because anytime I
I
talk
get
about
that.
that, I will start to cry, and I really don't want to cry on your podcast.
I get it. I get it.
Um, but it's teaching people that they have a choice. And the military side of it, so my oldest is he was medically retired, but he graduated from high school, went into the Marine Corps, and what started happening was that like he would, this buddy's wife needs a job. This buddy's husband needs,
Yeah.
this girl buddy's husband needs a job. This person needs a job. And so I was getting inundated with these Marine Corps spouses that were stationed in, the middle of nowhere. He
Yeah.
was stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina, so not a lot of job opportunities there. And there's these people who have these big, beautiful brains. I mean, I talked to a
Hmm.
woman a couple of weeks ago. She has a double master's degree, and
Yeah.
her husband is stationed in, I think it was 29 Palms, somewhere that's not really a bustling metropolis. And
Hmm.
the only place she could find a job was at the Piggly Wiggly, which is a grocery store chain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She said it. I had no idea what it was. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about?
Well, there, yeah, yeah.
As a bagger, she couldn't even, because she didn't
Be
have a
a cashier.
couldn't even be a cashier. And she's like, it's demoralizing. There has to be something more.
Yeah.
And I can teach you how to be a bookkeeper. Like that is so, you don't have to be good at math. That's the kind of the misnomer. And if it
Hmm.
gives people a choice, if somebody understands that they actually have a choice to control their destiny, I look at my life every day and I'm like, I'm blown away. I mean, we have the ability to travel. We've taken some amazing vacations. I get to work with my best friend every day. Um, I know that that may not be a dream for every married couple, but we sure love working together. And
Yeah.
we, have been fully present for both of our sons to not miss any of the, theater productions, water polo games, football
Hmm.
games, rugby games. Like I've seen more sports games than any girl ever needs
Yeah,
to.
I believe that.
But it's the choice, and it was the courage, I think, to make that choice.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I hope to inspire
That's
people to do.
beautifully
So
said. No,
that's
so
my
beautifully
current
said.
that's my current pet project.
I love it. So, Melissa, tell everybody how they can find you online.
Best place to find me is busybeeadvisors.com.
Awesome. You guys, all the links will be in the show notes. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. This has been a blast. I can't wait to do it again.